I am joined by three guests who are I'm going to pass over to them now to introduce themselves. So firstly, just over to yourself, Mel.
Hi, I'm Melanie Pizzey. I'm the CEO of the Global Payroll Association. So thank you for asking me to join today, Sam.
No problem. And thanks, Mel. Over to you, Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. My current role is Financial HR Manager for ITM. And I'm really excited to join today because I'm very excited to be joining this apprenticeship.
Fantastic. And yourself, Nikilsha?
Hi, I'm Nilksha. I work for Motor Insurance Bureau as a payroll controller. I'm hoping this course can provide me what I'm looking for, and by the looks of it, I think it's going to be amazing.
Great. And just so everyone knows, from my point of view, my name is Sam Hitcherain, Partnership Director at the Institute of Financial Operations and Leadership. And we're working with Mel at the Global Payroll Association to bring this payroll apprenticeship to market. So just to put everything into context for today's kind of Q&A session, just wanted to let everyone know a little bit about the actual payroll administrator apprenticeship standard. So it's the level 3 payroll administrator apprenticeship. It's an apprenticeship that was approved for delivery in 2018. And all the companies that you can see on the screen there are organisations that were part of the Trailblazer. When I say Trailblazer, I mean all the companies that came together and essentially put together the overview of the apprenticeship and what individuals will learn as part of the apprenticeship. So there's lots of big organisations that I'm sure everyone will recognise there who have come together and put all their knowledge together and said this is what we expect people to learn as part of this apprenticeship. If anyone wants to learn more about it, you can head to the GPA apprenticeship website there, or to our website to find out more about this specific apprenticeship and ask us any questions, or just get in touch. So just to kick things off then, so we're going to be finding out a bit more from Nikki and Mel and Kaylee about the apprenticeship. So first question to yourself, Kaylee. What made you decide to look into an apprenticeship specifically?
Purely because we've got a number, working in the HR department at ITM, we've got a couple of operational staff that are doing apprenticeships. And it's not something at my age I thought I would be able to do. So when I saw this advertised and looked into it, I love the structure of an apprenticeship, and we've all got day jobs to keep going with. And it's easy to fit in with day-to-day life. So an apprenticeship was definitely a win-win for me.
Fantastic. And what about yourself, Nilksha?
So I've been doing payroll for 20 years plus, and I've never ever done a qualification payroll. I've learnt on the hop, but it's got to a point where more and more businesses are looking for qualifications. And looking into it, I came across IFOL on LinkedIn just by fluke, looked into it, joined the webinar, and I thought, do you know what, this could be it. It's kind of made me sort of push myself forward rather than sort of thinking about your standard qualifications, i.e. the IPP.
So would you say that either of you were kind of particularly looking at apprenticeships initially, or do you think it was more of a case of, something cropped up that looked interesting and you thought you'd look into it a little bit more?
I personally didn't think that I would be able to do an apprenticeship, because normally when you think about apprenticeships, you're looking at school leavers wanting to earn some money and earn a qualification at the same time. So I think this is amazing that, you can be any age and still gain a qualification through an apprenticeship.
Yeah, ditto, they're exactly the same. I know the age thing is always like, when I said to someone I'm doing an apprenticeship, the initial reaction was, what, at your age? And I think there's still a stigma about it. So I'm all up at the moment trying to really promote apprenticeships, because I think, like we said, with working, it's something you can structure around a day job and give you that little bit, especially at the moment when we've got nothing really to look forward to. It's something nice there, a bit of structure to be putting that into, to add to the day job as well.
That's really interesting, because I think there is still that, as you mentioned, stigma around apprenticeships, where people think that, it is just for 16 to 18-year-olds, and, you might have to take a pay cut to come down to the apprenticeship wage and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, you don't. Apprenticeships are for everyone, and businesses are using them to upskill their staff, or people like yourselves who are very proactive. Nikki and Kaylee, you're kind of finding apprenticeships and jumping on them to get yourselves upskilled and to kind of help yourself in your career. So it's great. So very similar to a lot of people. Then I think it seems like you kind of looked into the content first. That was the draw for you, and then kind of realised that apprenticeships are for everyone, and thought, I'll go down that route then. So in terms of the actual apprenticeship then, firstly to you, Nikki, what are you looking forward to the most?
I think you can get stuck in a rut in the way you do things sometimes. So I'm looking forward to sort of coming back in line, being brought up to date with legislation, which, you always think you are, but sometimes you may have missed something. Brushing up on my skills mostly, especially as far as statutory payments are concerned. We use a payroll provider, so sometimes it's easy to lose sight.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what about yourself, Kaylee?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Already the people that I've met, like Nikki here and Mel, of the engagement I've got with other companies, because especially like working from home at the moment, I feel quite siloed. So we just sort of carry on doing what we know, how the job needs to be done. So just having a forum of people just to sort of work with and understand there is a different way to do it, or there's a more proactive way to do it, or the engagement with others, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really big part of this. Is you're almost part of a like-minded community of people who are looking for the same things. So it'd be great for you to engage with others. From your side of things, Mel, I know you're obviously not studying the apprenticeship. You guys created the program, but is there anything that you're looking forward to in terms of having people on the program?
Yeah, I think that one of the key things that you said there is like the community, isn't it? I think, I think the community part is really important. All of you guys are in the same boat, and hopefully, obviously we can't meet in person, but hopefully we can do at some point within the next 18 months. But I'm looking forward to seeing people expand, learn more, their knowledge, maybe grow in confidence, all those sorts of things. Because one of the key things that we wanted to do was help the payroll profession. So, and I feel that, offering the apprenticeship is the step in the right direction. So these guys it's really exciting that you guys are on board, and, let's see what it looks like in 18 months time. I'm sure you two are going to be different people in some ways, and obviously you're going to know each other as well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can meet in person.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And so in terms of the kind of support and stuff that the GPA are providing students, what does that look like?
Yeah, so we have our mentors. So Nilsha and Kaylee and Elaine, they have Kate Upcraft as their mentor. So it's important for us to make sure that everyone has a mentor who is a payroll specialist. So they have years and years of payroll experience. So it's not somebody just reading off a script as such. They've lived and breathe the whole experience. So that's really important for us to have a mentor. But I hope that the GPA team are also a support, that if there are any issues or challenges, that we're here. We're a telephone call away, or an email, or chat, which which everyone can contact us on. And then we also got the online forum. So I'm hoping that we're there. If somebody needs us, we're only a step away.
Yeah, and Nikki and Kaylee, I know it's very early on in your kind of journey on the apprenticeship, but have you kind of felt supported so far? Have you feel like there's always someone there for you to contact if you need to?
Okay, yeah, 100%. I've already had a call with Mel. Technical issues, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the most technical person. We get used to the portals that we're using. So again, it's exciting to be using something different. And yeah, I've already had a couple of calls with Mel to just quickly help me through that, so we can structure, because that's going to be the key for me, is getting that structure in place, and I can work to the timeline that we've already had, which you never really see. Well, from a personal experience working for apprenticeships, it's always sort of day one, there it is. So it's been really nice to have that structure already sent out, so we can start building that into our day. I've also got 2 children. I think, Nikki, you have got children as well.
Yeah.
So that working from home, so building that in was one of my, I think, like my disadvantage list. Could I do it at this particular time? You know, with homeschooling, the pandemic, the challenges that we don't know are going to come our way. And I just thought, well, now we've got that structure, can work with it. And what's another challenge? You know, let's go with it.
Brilliant. I love the enthusiasm. What about yourself, Nikki?
So yeah, it's the same here. I've got 2 children at home, as Kaylee says, and yes, we're working full time, but it's nice to have a focus. And we've already got the most of the timetable through, so I can plan to those dates and work around everything else. I'm lucky that my children are a bit older, so it's not too bad for me. But it's just something else to focus rather than, you know, whiling away the hours watching television and rubbish that you do.
Love it. Okay. So in terms of you guys then kind of looking at this in a different way, when you found this apprenticeship and you thought, you know, maybe this could be something that I want to look at, and presumably you took it to your manager within the business or someone else within the business, how was it kind of received within your organisation when you took that to them? And start off with yourself, Nikki.
Oh, absolutely amazing. I've got a line manager who's completely supportive. She did have to take it to our CFO to just get it signed off. From start to finish, we've had help from Christian all the way as well. So getting the forms filled out, what we need to do next, all the way there's been support through our L&D department. You know, I can't knock the business on that one at all. They have been completely supportive. And MIBR as far as training goes and sort of developing our careers and our roles within the company.
Oh, fantastic. So I feel like sometimes there's a bit of a fear from people when they're taking apprenticeships to the business, when, you know, you're already someone who's perceived as being an expert in a certain area or has got a lot of experience in a certain area. So it's good to hear that was, you know, received really well. Was that the same sort of thing for you, Kaylee?
Slightly different for me because I'm normally the one receiving the requests.
Yeah.
So for me to be putting that request, I knew how I had to structure it to go to the, normally I'd be in like the gatekeeper, if you like, and then go to the director. So for me to go straight to the directors to have this signed off, I knew exactly what they was expecting. And I think the key thing on this was the content, the structure that's involved in this apprenticeship, the things we're going to be talking over. Like I mentioned to Mel, the IR35 part of the course was a key win within the company. But I also just think they took it quite well in the fact that, like I said, like with everything going on at the moment, that people do want to still keep developing. I think that was nice for them to see. So yeah, it was taken very well. And Brilliant. Again, we'll go back to that stigma. It was what, an apprenticeship? You want to do an apprenticeship? You've worked here for 20 years. Why do you want to do an apprenticeship?
Yeah. I think that, like I said, I think that is the fear sometimes, that might be the question. But I suppose when you put forward the content of what you're actually going to learn, what you're going to benefit, and the fact that, you know, we'll get onto the funding in a second, but obviously there's funding available. It kind of makes sense for businesses, doesn't it? So yeah, you know, that's great to hear and good to know that, you know, it's received so well by your employers. So just kind of, I guess, expanding a little bit more on that then. So firstly with yourself, Kaylee, there's obviously, you know, there are 2 options for funding for these apprenticeships. Is your business funding this through the apprenticeship levy, or is it the co-investment fund?
It's the co-investment fund, yeah. It
is. So yeah. So to put that into context then, so essentially any business who has a wage bill of £3 million or more, they pay into the apprenticeship levy and they can use those funds for apprenticeship training, or they will lose the money after 18 months. Or if you don't pay into the apprenticeship levy, if your wage bill is under £3 million a year, then your organisation will be eligible for 95% funding from the government through what's called the co-investment fund. So that money that you pay into the apprenticeship levy, or companies pay into the levy, if it's not used, gets recycled, gets pulled into the co-investment fund, and then 95% of the course is funded through that, and the remaining 5% is paid by the employer. So for this particular course, you know, £9,000 funding band, you know, leaving your companies with a bill of, you know, £450 for a £9,000 course was, I'm sure, quite a surprise or a delight to those that were paying the bill. So what about yourself, Nikki? Is your company a levy paying organisation, or?
We are, yes. So mine's fully funded by App Levy, which is quite nice for the company. I don't think a lot of companies or staff appreciate what the App Levy is and how it can be used sometimes as well.
No.
So I know MIB have used apprentices in the past and used the App Levy, but not to a great extent when you think of how much money is going into that pot.
Absolutely. You know, I know that there's hundreds of millions a month that are not spent through the apprenticeship levy and then get recycled into the co-investment fund. But even so, I think those funds aren't being used up fully. So it's definitely something that, more businesses should look at for upskilling, existing staff and not only bringing in new staff as well.
I'd just like to add there, Sam, as well. I'm really excited about doing that part of the course as well, learning a little bit more about levy to see how we can, as a business, use that even more so in the coming years.
That's it, 'cause it's part of the course curriculum, isn't it? So just on the funding side then, how did you, from your side of things, from your side of the fence, did you have any issues with getting the funding? Was there anything that, you had to do, or was it, kind of plain sailing and something that you didn't have to worry about?
I think for me it was plain sailing, because like you touched on, the course that we're going to be part of, how much that is to what we're actually paying, it's a win-win, isn't it? Just from the experience, it's a no-brainer really. It's a very, very, the quality of what we're going to be doing and the cost, there was no issues whatsoever.
So moving to the next discussion point then. So Mel, this one's kind of one for you, I think, as kind of one of the experts in the payroll industry. How important do you feel that it is for people to stay up to date, or for payroll professionals to stay up to date?
Oh, it's imperative. I think Nilksha and Kaylee will agree, especially last year. I mean, what was it, a couple of hundred legislation changes last year on, furlough and all sorts of different things. I think globally, it's there was definitely over like 500-600 legislation changes just in that short period of time. You got to stay up to date to make sure your payroll's correct. And most people don't get thanked, do they, for processing payroll correctly each month or week? I don't think that ever happens. But I'm sure that you guys, well, hopefully you don't know, but I'm sure you guys will heard of or had experience that if something does go wrong, then people are on the phone or email straight away, aren't they? So unfortunately, I think sometimes payroll are forgotten because everything needs to be done correctly, and I think payroll people are ensure that everything is correct. So they have to stay up to date. They have to know what the legislation changes are. So it's imperative, to be honest with you. And I think the people that maybe don't stay up to date are the people that are the payroll departments are known in the companies, because maybe there's a few issues. So it definitely is very important. Yeah.
And Nikki and Kaylee, from your side of things, do you feel the same? Is it, do you feel it's important to kind of keep your continuous learning going and, keep your skills growing?
100%.
Absolutely, and totally agree with Melanie says. It's, I do the HMRC webinars as well to sort of keep on top of what's going on. But I think doing this course, we've got so much information available to us on the website itself that it will always be with the forum, the literature, it will always be the first point of, where I turn to for anything I need to know now. Absolutely.
And Kaylee, was there anything that you wanted to add to that point?
Yeah, the same, absolutely. Like having the forum, like I looked at the weekend, the stuff that's on there, and like Mel said, just keeping up to date. I think people just think payroll just happens. We just click a button, it just happens. If only, hey, if only we wouldn't have jobs. But all the stuff keeping it exactly up to date, like the time invested into just furlough claims and just getting our heads around that last year in a very short space of time. I don't think people appreciated how quickly we had to get our heads around it. And especially being in payroll, I don't like to get it wrong for anyone. You know, it's people's incomes. We do not want to be getting it wrong, 100% not. So more time that can confidently be invested is it's a win.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of yourselves then, Kaylee and Nikki, what would you say and we'll start with you, Kaylee, because I know this, I don't want to confuse the things here. So with yourself, Nikki, what are your kind of career goals, and how do you think that this qualification is going to help you to perhaps achieve them?
So for me, it's just sort of not for myself, because I know I can do the job, but it's more for every other member of staff that I deal with. It just gives them more confidence to say, I've got a qualification to say, yep, you know, we've got faith in our payroller, she can do this job, and it's proved by the qualification that's there. More so now than ever, I think. And also, if the need arises for me to sort of be out there back in the field looking for another role, I think that will stand in my favour.
Absolutely. And how about yourself, Kaylee?
You know, a little bit different in the fact that I know I can do the job, but I need the confidence to be able to say, I've got this qualification, I can do that job. So for me, it's going to be a confidence booster. Again, I've had a very long and lucky career with my current employer. So I've just got to that point where I need the confidence, you know, I can do this.
Yeah, excellent. So I feel like the qualification, not only is it going to give you the technical kind of understanding of things and develop your skills that way, but it seems like it's very much about confidence, you know, getting that qualification behind you to then make you feel like, you know, you can actually, you know, you can move things along, you can maybe apply for that promotion or whatever it may be that comes up. It's, you know, a real big confidence boost for you then.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So in terms of, obviously, you guys now enrolled on the program. I know it's still, you know, again, very early days, but would you, starting with yourself, Kelly, would you have any advice that you would give to, you know, kind of fellow payroll professionals or peers that might be considering maybe this apprenticeship or maybe just an apprenticeship in general?
Oh, 100% do it. Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. We had a little forum where we all got together the other day just to sort of chat about how it's going to work, and that was really helpful. I was still really nervous, but now we've all spoke, and like I said, like engaging with other people from other companies, seeing Nikki's point of view. Absolutely do it. Like Nikki mentioned, even looking at the forums that are available on our portal already, I've got somewhere to go to straight away. Yeah, I'm so excited about it. The tools, the information that's already there is already, and we're not even really started already, like day one, making a difference. Well, yeah, absolutely, just do it and don't overthink it. You know, like we say, we've got challenges in life as it is at the moment, so what's another one? That's
it, and the excitement definitely comes across, Kylie, and I think that's absolutely, I think it's brilliant, it's infectious, really, to be honest. So what about yourself, Nikki?
Yeah, so, you know, everything Kaylee says, and the way I look at it, because I always said to myself, now I'm getting too old, but you're never too old to start something. And it's good to have a challenge. It keeps your mind active, and you're meeting lots more new people around the world, you know, not just somebody that's on your doorstep, which is good. Everybody's been really, really helpful already. I can't, you know, say thank you enough to the guys at IFOL and Mel and everyone. It's just been amazing so far, and like Katie says, we haven't even started the course yet, so you know, if this is how it starts, I can't imagine how it's going to finish.
Excellent. Well, look, I think it's been absolutely brilliant to get some insight from yourself, Nikki, and yourself, Kaylee, and you, Mel, on you know, how you feel about the apprenticeship, and hopefully what you're going to gain from it. With any luck, you know, maybe we'll be able to do another session in, you know, a few months' time once you've, you know, gone through some of the modules and you've, you know, maybe spent some more time with your mentor, and maybe catch up then. But for now, I think this, you know, it's been a brilliant session. Hopefully been really insightful for those that have joined us. So thanks very much for joining myself and taking the time out. And if anyone has any questions or would like to find out more about the apprenticeship, contact either myself or Mel, or head to the websites to find out more. And yeah, thank you very much, guys, for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sam.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take
See
care.
you all soon. Bye.
Bye.